So now we have Angular CLI installed, so let's try and use it. By the way, before we move on, let's just have a look. Node.js is of course still the Chrome V8 JavaScript engine that makes it possible for us to execute JavaScript as if this was a web server. So we can actually, just like I'm doing in a browser, I can actually execute real JavaScript and make my own web server here. NPM is the ecosystem. It's all explained here if you want to read more about it. Back to the CLI. I'm inside the Angular getting started area, so that's when you press this guy, it pops up in the GitHub. And if I scroll down here, under usage, it says to get started, you will start by making a new project and it'll create a folder for you, right? So it says create a project with a project name, so we'll do that. First, let's find a good place to put this. Going to my root, I'm going to add a work folder, make dear work. It's up to you where you want to put this. I'm going into the work folder, and here I'm going to run ng new project, but I will call my project course planner 2. That'll be the name of my project. I'll press enter, and it starts installing the project. There we go. This takes a bit of time again. It tries to get some more packages from NPM because it needs some specific packages now for the Angular project that we're looking at. So give it a second. So I just zoomed a bit and it took a bit of time. Don't be impatient if it just takes a lot of time to install. You just have to wait. It depends on your internet connection. There's a lot of things going on with this installation. If you just can't wait and you have shut it down for some reason, you can try and go into the folder now. And I called my course planner, so that's where I go now. And then you can write npm install, and it'll try and install it again. Now, I won't do that right now. Another way you can do it is I'll just shut this down again. That's just, by the way, Control-CC, and then I try to shut it down. Let's try something else here. Let me try and write another command, ng-init, which is also going to try and reinstall everything for you. And again, it's all installed now, so I don't want to do it all again. But it tries to reinstall everything for you. And if you're at any point where you actually updated your CLI, ng-init can also convert some of these files for you if they have actually changed since the first installation. So we'll look at that later. That's not something I want to touch right now. But now the installation is done, everything is installed, and now we can write ng-serve. So I'll try and do that as the next step. Notice I went into the project folder cd and then the name of the project folder, course planner in my case, writing ng-serve, and hopefully something will happen. There's something with some deprecated files here. Again, that happens because we are using a lot of open source code, and some times it's just deprecated. We are opening and building a lot of modules, and let's just say allow access here, the Windows alert, and it pops up in the end saying something that we are up and running. So now if this actually works, I should be able to just write HTTP localhost 4200, and I should have my first Angular app running. And there we go, app works. We're done. That's how you started your first Angular application using the Angular CLI. So again, back to this short recap. You go in, first of all, you install the Angular CLI, you run ng new project, add your project name here, you go into that folder that was created for you. In my case, I did under work, so I got a course planner 2 folder, and this is my setup here. And then I do ng-serve to actually launch the server and to show that the application actually worked. And what actually happened here is the last thing I want to tell you is that when you go into work here into the course planner and everything is now running, it created an entire structure for us that we can now start to work with to build on top of this new Angular application. See you next time when we will play more around with this, and I'll switch over to Mac. See you next time.